and welcome back to another episode of Cousin Wives.
Also known as the CW.
So it's been
I'm Mitt
another
Romney.
long week. Oh my god. No, our flow is off. Okay. Yes.
Oh shit, I just clapped. Is that gonna confuse you?
Oh my god.
They're cousins and their wives. Don't you know they're the cousin wives? With all our money and I need to. Who knows what the hell they're gonna do? Don't wanna listen, well it's true and bad. One of them laughs while the other gets mad. Check your man and check if it's butter. Cause this show ain't no like no other. It's cousin wives.
Hi, I'm Mitt Romney. And this is my cousin.
Nani.
Nani. And today, after a really long week,
Very long week.
we're gonna talk about marriage and dating. Should you do it? Should
Hell
you not
no.
do it?
Oh, just kidding.
Who would you fuck, marry, kill? I'm just kidding.
You can't say that word.
Whoops, the IT.
I'm kidding. I don't care. IT, bleep it. Bleep.
You say we can't say that word. Didn't we say fuck you to everybody in the last one?
Oh my gosh, we did.
Like 10 times. Oops.
Minimum 10 times.
Yeah.
He can bleep it.
Yeah, the IT department is very upset right now.
Oh, I am so sorry, IT.
Because
Don't
we're
quit.
not content friendly. Whatever.
Oh, just can we bleep it? Dang, how many bleeps is that? Anyway, point
The,
being.
the entire episode is just gonna be bleeped out at this point.
Wow.
With all the shit that we said.
I am so sorry. Can you make a list of words that we're not allowed to say?
Can you please?
Thank you.
What can we say and what can we not say?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Anyways.
Anywho.
But yeah, this week's episode is
brought
about
to you by, I'm just kidding.
nobody.
Nobody. Me.
By
And
us.
Kels. By us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, I guess, our personal dating experience, how we met our hubbies, like just like our relationship and how it grew with them, I guess. And then we're hoping you guys have like questions, that you could put in the comments, and then we can like address them at the beginning of the next episode or something. We'll see.
Yeah, because we're
Our
so
one
wise.
viewer. No, I'm just kidding. We are wise. Our one viewer.
Our one viewer. Love you.
Love you. Shout out to the viewer. Woo!
Woo.
Anyway, Kales, who's going first?
Well, I went first the last time, so
Yeah,
if you want to,
right.
if you're
You're
comfortable
right.
going first, you can go ahead.
Grab some popcorn, everyone.
All right,
about
I'm
to
ready.
learn
I'm
something.
gonna get my poppin', my
You're-
my
Are
pop
you gonna
rocks.
put the pop rocks like right up to the mic?
Oh shit, you're probably right. I should.
So
Okay, never
So
mind.
while I'm talking, people are just gonna hear,
Something sizzling in the background.
and then when I was 35. Wait, I'm only 30. Anyway. Okay, so growing up, I feel like I was boy crazy most of the time. I was super flirtatious to a point where everyone thought I was a slut in high school, but I was still a virgin. I didn't lose my virginity till I was 19. And it was to a guy that I was like head over heels for, and my dumbass stuck around. I mean, mind you, there wasn't really anyone, but my dumbass stuck around because I really did like him, and like I wanted a relationship, he didn't, so we were kind of just like fuck buddies in a sense. And yeah,
were you in love with him?
maybe. Yeah, I was. My dumbass was. And
I mean, at the time.
At the time, yeah. No, hell yeah. Right now, Pedro, if you're listening, I love you, baby. At the time, I was crazy about him. Started in band, and then like throughout college, and it was just like an on and off thing. Like me feeling guilty because growing up from like a religious family, like you're not supposed to have sex before marriage because you're gonna go to hell and all that stuff. So I felt guilty. But my first time, I think that was, if not my first, it was a time after, but we did it on the school desk, like in the dorm, like on the desk, and I'm pretty sure the curtains were open. But thankfully we were like on the 5th floor, and that was back when I had a nice body, so it was okay. But yeah.
Oh my god.
But I didn't do a lot of crazy stuff that I do now because I wasn't comfortable in my body and I was self-conscious. Mm-hmm. So Pedro, if you're listening, baby, which I know you are, only you got my crazy ass. Love you, pumpkin. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So my first boyfriend was my guy best friend that I still talk to. We went out for like a month and then I felt weird. And then I love you, my best friend, my guy best friend, but I'm pretty sure you still have feelings for that one girl, and I was like, yeah, I'm not having it. And then after that, I dated this other guy. It lasted a few months. He ended up going to prom with this other girl because she didn't have a date or whatever. Ended up cheating on me. I heard about it. And I was like, and he left me too. Like, he broke up with me, and I heard about like him cheating on me, and I was like, wow. And later on, like in community college, he said that he cheated on another girlfriend he had. So I was like, no, he definitely cheated on me. And I was like, whatever, better off without you. After that, in college, this random ass guy just came up to me. He was like, hey, you know, you're really cute. Like, do you want to go on a date? And I was like, yes, I do. Then we went to the Santa Monica Pier. We kissed. He had mushy lips and I didn't like them. But he was really nice. He was like, you know, like, you're that kind of girl that you just want to settle down with. Like, you don't want to play games with. And I know you're going to find someone worthy of you. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And then I skipped one. I ended up marrying my tutor. So in high school, I had a tutor. Wait. In high school, I had a tutor. He was a USC student. And he was my tutor. But we waited until I was of legal age and I graduated and all that. And then he told me that he liked me. We went for coffee. And I liked him before I graduated. But I was like, okay, like, yeah, he's cute. He's Indian too. And I went out with him a couple times and we went to the beach. He took me out to dinner. My uncle said he was going to pick me up on a camel. And I was like, that's racist because it's Indian.
Oh my God.
And then I don't know what else. Yeah, but then I was like, no, I don't like him anymore. And then I went back to like, so that guy that I talked about in the beginning, it was always like an on and off thing where he was always there. But then like I was also dating other people. And then from there, I guess like I feel like I was trying to end things with that guy that I talked about. I guess you call it like my first like huge, like super into, you know, that, I don't know, well, you probably don't because you said it only like, but we'll get into yours later. Point being, I went through that stage of, damn, this dumbass is going after this guy who like does not want what she does.
Yeah.
I don't regret it because I feel like I grew and I learned a lot and it was good. That's all I'm gonna say. Pedro, if you're listening, I love you.
Oh my God.
And what else? Yeah, so that happened. Oh, and then I ended up going out with this other guy who liked me in high school, and I feel like it was kind of a rebound, but I'm pretty sure it was his rebound because I know he had gotten out of like a really like long relationship with the girl that he loved, and it was long distance because of college, and it was really sad. Point being, that didn't end too well. And in all honesty, like I feel like I was pressured into having sex in that relationship, and I wasn't ready, but I don't know. I feel like I was pressured into it.
With the last guy?
No, with the man. I'm confusing, aren't I? The guy that used me as rebound. I'm pretty sure I used him as rebound. It was between the guy that I really really liked. Then I went out with this guy. That didn't work out because he wanted to party more than he wanted to spend time, and it was just weird and awkward. And after that, I went back to the other guy that I was crazy about. But then at some point I was like, you know what? Like, I'm done. Like, I'm done chasing. Like, obviously this isn't going to go anywhere and I don't mean anything to him. So I'm going to move on. And that's when my husband came in. So my husband. So I've known my husband since we were 11. And I had a crush on him. He had a crush on me. But unfortunately, his best friend asked him to ask me out for him. So his best friend technically got to me before he could. So then we couldn't really do anything. I mean, mind you, this is middle school. Like, wow, middle school, whatever.
Yeah.
Those don't really count anyway. So then, like, as we grew up, like, we would still hang out. But then after middle school, like, he had to go to another school. So I didn't see him as much, but he would still come visit me. And I just thought, oh, okay, cool. My friend's visiting me. And he always had some bitch. To all you bitches out there listening. Not just kidding.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. No. IT's gonna be really angry.
Oh, they can bleep it out. He'll be fine.
Do you know how many times he's gonna have to bleep things out? Like, I'm sure he's gonna be like, I quit.
He's not gonna quit. Where is he gonna go?
You're right. Nobody's gonna take him. Anyway, just kidding, IT. Love you.
I'm just kidding.
IT, if you're listening, which I know you are.
Shout out
to the IT department.
Yep.
What was I saying? Am I making any sense?
I'm following.
Okay, good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so my husband. So then as years went by, like, he would come visit me and we would hang out, and he would also bring that other friend that asked me out, but it wasn't awkward anymore. And he always had some bitch, so I never thought he was interested. And he always thought that I had a man, but I never did because I've only had like a couple boyfriends.
Yeah.
And I was a flirt, man. I really was. And I've only slept with like 2.5 guys. Don't ask why there's a half. Just those 2.5 guys. If y'all are listening, figure out which one's the half. Anyway. Just kidding. I'm so stupid. And then... Oh, yeah. So then he always had some bitch. He was in a super, like, long-term relationship. And I was like, man, when is this bitch gonna get off his dick, man?
God.
Nah, I'm kidding. But then, like, after I ended things with the guy, when I was like, okay, no, like, I'm done messing around. Like, obviously, you don't want anything serious. And I do, Mm-hmm. I was like, whatever, I'm gonna focus on me. And then that's when my husband hit me up. It was my 21st birthday. And he was like, hey, he was like, do you want to go out for drinks? So then we started hanging out. I wasn't looking for anything. He wasn't. But then eventually it just turned into something and we ended up going out. Funny enough, the night that we were like official was the night of my best friend's birthday. We went to this drag queen club and this drag queen was like dancing, trying to get at him. And he was like, can I sit on the inside this time, or like the booth or whatever at the table? So then that night I kissed him first because I have balls. And I was like, yeah, I kissed him. For the record, I kissed him first. And yeah, and then the rest is history. It was great.
Ah, interesting.
It wasn't interesting, dude. You were like, can this bitch shut up?
I'm like, can she please go? I mean, can she please keep going? No, I wanted to ask. Yeah. You mentioned that.
I'll take questions.
You mentioned that
yeah.
Pedro's best friend was into you.
Yes.
Was it like awkward when you started dating Pedro? To have him around? Like your friend or his friend?
Not at all, because when this happened, it was in middle school, and when Pedro and I started going out, it wasn't until like college. So I'm pretty sure enough time passed by where like the rule didn't apply, like you can't, so I'm sure it was enough time. And it was fine.
Was there any sort of like difficulties in the early stages of your relationship, like something you had overcome, whether it's like communication or
no, because we're
anything
perfect.
like that?
I'm just kidding. No. So at the time, I was at USC, and then he was all the way in Pomona.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to like literally drive miles every week, and we could only see each other once a week. Mind you, we would Skype and talk, but it wasn't the same. And I started spending weekends over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my parents thought I was a saint, but I wasn't. And Mom, if you're listening, you already know I'm a puta. Dad, if you're listening, man, I'm so sorry. Throw holy water on me. I don't care. I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
I would go over pretty much almost every weekend, and then we'd have a thing where I'd be like, man, like, is it Friday night yet? And he'd be like, it could be. And then he'd come pick me up right then and there.
Aww.
It was really cute, Or like I would drive over there, like he'd be like, man, like, is it this day? And I'd be like, it could be. And then I just drive my ass over there, back and forth. So that was a struggle, but I know people say like long distance is hard, but I'm like, if you put the time and effort into it, like it can work. We've been together for, it's going to be 10 years this year. We're gonna be married for 6 years in
Oh.
April. Like, we've been together for a long time.
Oh.
Stop pretending like you're interested. I'm just kidding.
No, it's such like
I'm
it's
just
such like a
kidding.
nice story.
Yeah, and like,
You know what? Forget you.
fuck you. You can say it. You can say it. You can say it. Actually, no, don't say it because then the IT's gonna be like, God damn it. The whole like episode's gonna be like beep, and then level up beep,
Beep.
and then will it beep,
And then I beep, and to him beep,
and 2.5 beep. You know, I told my therapist, and she looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I can see why
Yeah.
you're in here. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I feel like in the beginning, it was hard because I feel like I was really mean to him. And it took therapy to like fix the way that I was, because growing up, I feel like my mom took out a lot on me. And like when I would treat Pedro that way, she would cry and say, I see a lot of me and what I used to do to you guys and how you treat him. You know, and she apologized, and I was like, Mom, it's cool. Like, I mean, not cool, but you know, I'm going to therapy to fix that. So I feel like in the beginning there was a lot of communication issues, and
Yeah.
I would get mad a lot and things would bug me. And I feel like it would take time for me to let things go, whereas he was just like, okay, cool, like we're fine. But in my mind, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, he's gonna leave me. Like, I would go to sleep mad, or like I wouldn't want to sleep with him, and he'd be like, no, like you're not sleeping in another room, you're gonna sleep here with me. He's like, everything's fine. So I feel like he taught me how to let things go and how to love and be loved unconditionally, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I learned a lot from him, but it was really hard, like I said in the beginning, especially during the pandemic. It was hard because I had just quit my job because I hated it. And right when I was gonna start looking for one, there was nothing because the pandemic hit. And so that year, like I was super depressed, in a bad mood. I would take it out on him, and when he finally said, like, you need to go to therapy and figure out what's going on, because I can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
So that whole year when I started going to therapy, like I feel like a different person. And it was just like I said, like it's really hard because even now I'm learning, like, if we fight over something or like argue, because you know everyone does. You'd be lying if you said that your relationship was perfect.
Yeah.
It's about how you fix the issue or work on the problem, you know, like.
Yeah.
So now when we argue, like the next day I'm still kind of mad, and I think he is, but then like I wait for him to start talking to me, and then he talks to me like as if nothing happened, and then I go, oh, we're okay, you know. So I've learned, and I've seen it a lot too, like online, how like men get over things easily for the most part, and women are still thinking like, oh my God, like I'm still mad, he's still mad, like what if he leaves me, like what if he does this, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it applies to everyone, but for the like a lot of the times that's what I see like to other people say, and like the reels and stuff online and all that. So we did have issues like that, just a lot of miscommunication. So yeah, we did. But now we're perfect. I'm just kidding. Hey Drew, if you're listening, baby, you're perfect. Anyway, yes, any questions?
Just out of my own curiosity, was there any sort of like jealousy between like if he was jealous of your exes or if you were jealous of his exes?
Oh girl, I could go on and on. I don't know if you've
please
noticed,
do.
but you know what? Are you trying
We've
to break
heard.
this up? Oh my God. So I feel like I'm jealous only because I'm really insecure about myself. Not as much as I used to be, but in the past, like if he would bring up his exes, and I know my brother, my cousin would bring them up on purpose just to piss me off and get us started.
Yeah.
I would be so mad. Like I would hate that he talked about all these girls.
Yeah.
Because one, he always like had game. Two, he'd probably be hit it. He hit all of them, if you know what I mean. Like he hit it.
Yeah.
He has a lot of experience.
Yeah.
Which is good and bad. Good because good for me. Bad because fuck them bitches. I mean, bleep them bitches. But not really, Pedro. Fucking shit, Pedro. Why do you hate me anyway? So I get really jealous. Like I feel bad talking about my past experiences. I only have like 2, but he can tell me about different girls, and then he'll bring one up, and I'll be like, oh, that bitch, like that one bitch you were with.
Ooh, yeah.
Or like he'll probably bring up a girl and I'll be like, oh, so you probably fucked her too, huh? You fucked half of LA.
Ooh.
You know, I'll say things like that because it still bugs me. Oh my god, even think about it right now. It just makes me so angry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that.
Yeah, you did. You know what, Pedro, if
No.
you're listening, I'm just kidding.
Again, it was just like, if I ask you any questions, don't.
No,
if you don't
girl,
want to answer,
I'm
don't
an
answer
open
it.
book. No, I'm an open book. I'm an open
Just
book.
be like, bitch,
Mind
be
your
quiet. Next
business.
question.
No, yeah, I'm the jealous one. He's not. Nowadays, like, I'm not as jealous. Again, like, I know I always bring up therapy, but therapy really did like change my mindset, like help me with my insecurities and all that. Because at the end of the day, he's like, why does it matter what I did in the past if I'm with you now? And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm still mad. you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, jealousy definitely exists because of me. And I'll go off. I'm sure you've heard me when we game.
Yeah, I've
Evelyn
heard.
could tell you. My brother could tell you. And he'll be like, 80, dude, calm down, man. I'm like, shut up, bro. I'm just kidding. But yeah. Juan, if you're listening, bleep you. Love you, bro. But yeah, any more questions from the panel? IT, do you have any questions?
IT, do you have any questions? He said no. He said, leave me alone.
Oh my god.
Okay, so how did you know, or when did you know you wanted to marry him?
Oh yeah, funny enough. So I was looking through his drawer because I was putting his chonies away.
He doesn't flip them?
No. Well, these were the clean ones because he had already flipped them like 4 times, you know?
Okay, gotcha.
So I had to put them away. And I found the ring, the ring box. And I was like, what is this? And I think we had only been together for like almost 2 years, but not the 2-year mark. Yeah. And he was like, oh, you weren't supposed to see that. He's like I was ready, I went shopping for a ring with my dad, who, mind you, he had not grown up with, had only started talking to again, but because he didn't know what to do, like, he sought out his dad's advice. It was so cute. I would have cried just thinking about it. Pedro, if you're listening, I love you, baby. Suegro, shout out to my suegro. But it's like he knew. I don't know how he knew, but I feel like he's always loved me. Like, I was that girl, And he was always that guy that I couldn't get some bitches. Anyway, I don't know how many
We're all over him. Goddamn.
Yeah, give me a turn. Anyway. Mom, if you're listening, I love you.
If you're listening, please don't. Please stop right now.
Don't. Please. So yeah, so I found the ring and like he really wanted to get like propose. But I was like, no, like, I don't know what it was. Like, it's not that I wasn't sure. I just feel like I kept hearing, like, no, like, you can't get married too soon. And, like, pretty much what you had to do in order to be ready to get married. And I know my brother kept telling me, like, you guys haven't been together too long. Da, 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 da. And we were already living together, like, we were living together, already. So I feel like he knew, and I told him like once the 2 years hit, like let's get married,
Yeah.
But then I feel like I think that same night, like I was just like, whatever, like do you want to do it for real? And he's like, yeah. So like he had planned on proposing like during Christmas or whatever, but I don't like attention, so I told him like I don't want to do that. And so then right there and there, like it was dark and like we were getting ready to go to bed, and he was like, yeah, like, do you want to get married? And I was like, yeah. So then like in the dark, like he tried to put the ring on, he put it on the wrong finger because he couldn't see, but then like he finally got it, and then that's just how we got engaged. Like it wasn't some extravagant like, oh my god, like let me tell the world and get you balloons and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But it was so intimate, and like it was kind of like, oh my god, like I can't believe I'm engaged. And I remember like texting my mom and like my best friend, and she was like, "What? Like you're engaged?" I'm like, I can't believe it. Like it just didn't hit me. Even now, it doesn't hit me that I'm married to this wonderful man and we have a house and 3 beautiful baby cats. And yeah, and that's what happened.
Damn.
What was the question? Oh, how did I know he was the one? I don't know, girl. Just the way he treats me, like he's just so loving and always puts me first, so selfless. Like he's just, I don't know, it's just this thing. And I could just be myself with him. Like I could just be myself.
Yeah.
And he's
for
lovely
sure.
for me. And he's seen me without me having to like he's seen me like even before we got married, like I had not shaving my legs, you know, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seen me without getting like super dolled up. Like he's
Mhm.
seen me for me, like all of me, and he still like said, yeah, like she's the one, you know,
Yeah.
flaws and all. And I
For
love
sure.
him and his flaws, and you know, but
And now
and
you
yeah,
guys are perfect together.
and now duh, we're perfect. Couple of the century.
I
Shout
love
out
it.
to my husband. I'm just kidding. How many shout outs have I given?
So many fucking shout outs, girl. Everyone in
sorry.
America, shout out to
Shout out.
you.
Shout out to the world.
That was very nice.
Was it though?
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of that.
I can't wait to hear your side of this. Like, is it not as exciting? Girl, you gotta get out there more often. Just live a little.
I feel like it's not as exciting.
I don't care. It's still probably freaking cute. I love the way your husband treats you. It's so cute.
Really? Because he's mean.
No, he treats you like a queen. Like, it's so cute. Like, that you get. Like, he coddles you. Like, you can tell that this man loves you.
That's good.
And I'm like
glad.
so happy that you found someone that treats you the way that you should be treated. Like, it just,
Thanks.
I'm
gonna
like,
cry.
yeah, please. Can we both cry? Is IT crying? IT, don't get your equipment wet.
He has the tissues ready. Don't get your equipment wet.
Pedro, where are my tissues? Oh wait, you're working. Yeah. And yeah, that's my story.
Thank you for coming to her TED Talk.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I love my husband. I don't know how many times I tell people that, but I do.
That's good.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad to hear and see that you guys are happy. Truly, I am.
Yeah, me too, dude. You only want the best for like your cousin wife, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I was gonna joke and be like, "Oh, how I met Pedro." I'm just kidding.
Oh god. Oh yeah, because we're married to the same man. How did you meet Pedro?
Actually, the first time I met Pedro was not the greatest like situation.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I feel like that's how everyone met him. Dude, I'm telling you, for those of you who don't know, and I'm okay with sharing this with everyone.
Okay.
My dad tried to commit suicide a couple years ago, and Pedro. It was on the day that I had to get a pap smear. So my day started off with me getting a pap smear. I'm not even kidding. I had a pap smear that day. I went to go pick up my husband, who was then my boyfriend, to come with me to LA to get a pap smear. And on my way back, like, it was your mom that called me, actually, Kales. Your mom called me, leaving a voicemail, frantic, asking what was going on. And I was over here driving like, la 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 la, gonna see my boyfriend, la 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 la.
Yeah.
And when I get home, like, they told me what happened. And my husband drove, like he took care of everything. Like, he drove me to the hospital. Like, we went to go get everyone pupusas, which my dad still remembers because he ended up eating some too.
Yeah.
Like, he bought all our family, and it was a lot of people, like, bought him pupusas, like, make sure I was okay, you know, like, I don't know if that's when I knew I wanted to marry him, but I could see, like, how much he loved me and, like, how much he did for me and my family.
Yeah.
You know, like, he took care of us that day.
Yeah.
So, where was I going with this?
Yeah. That's I'm like,
but
the
that's
first
how
time
you met him. Yeah.
That's the first time I met him. It was just, it was such an awful situation.
Yeah. But you met him, and he was great.
Yeah.
But yeah. And no, not talk about you, and I want to hear about you and your IT, your half of the IT department.
So I met Josh in middle school. The first time we ever spoken to each other.
I'm telling you, it's like the same man. Continue.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, this is how I met Pedro.
Oh god.
No, it was a mutual friend that introduced us to each other, and I think at the time, the mutual friend, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the mutual friend had a thing for me. And so he introduced us together. And we literally like, hi, okay, bye.
Wow.
And we never talked, and we did not talk until a freshman year of high school, where we were both in marching band.
Oh, nerds.
And again, Josh was always like in my inner circle because his one friend, Gabriel, shout out to Gabriel because he's actually the reason why I'm married.
Shout out.
He was, we were like in the same circle. So whenever I hung out with Gabriel, Josh was always there, and a lot of our other friends too. But that's how we met. In terms of like dating experience, I think compared to a lot of other people, I would say I don't have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I dated a few guys before I dated Josh, but I never like took it seriously.
Girl.
No, I'm talking about like at most 3.
Get it? Damn, Kale's got game.
But the first like, I guess my first boyfriend ever was actually like a childhood friend from Mexico.
Why did I think you were gonna say a child?
No, I mean at the time we were basically children, but
Mexico. It's always a Mexican guys from the pueblo that your parents from.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was a summer, and I was there for like
summer.
I was down there for like a summer break, so I was there for like 2-3 months.
Damn.
And we went to visit our grandparents down there. Yeah. Where my mom is from, in my mom's village. And so the back neighbor is a very good family friend of ours. And so naturally, of course, she had kids that were the same age as us. So we would always hang out and, play together. And so I don't know how it happened. We kind of just like started dating. I don't know. I'm fuzzy on the specific details, but all I really remember was like I made out with him like hardcore.
Dang, girl, were you drugged?
No, I was just really young and stupid. And
nice. It's the
hormones. That was like literally it. I didn't do anything else. Like I didn't touch him in any other way. We literally made out, and a week later I went back to America.
Wow. Those of you who are listening, Kels is not like me. She's a little sick.
But yeah, that was my first experience. And honestly, looking back, he wasn't great. He actually kind of scared me. I mean, looking back now, it's funny enough because when I was engaged a year or 2 ago, he messages me on Facebook.
No.
And this is like, I haven't spoken to this guy in like 10 plus years. And he's like, I still remember you. I still remember hanging out with you when we were kids.
I remember your tongue.
And I'm like, that's great. I'm getting married. Bye.
Are you kidding
But yeah,
me?
he probably did want papers because homeboy had when he messaged me, I learned that he had a child. And I'm just like, you have a child. Why aren't you with the woman that you had a child with? Why are you messaging me? Also, no. I'm engaged though.
In conclusion, never.
No, but the guy low-key kind of scared me because he was very much like, he was grabby in like an aggressive way, like not in a sexual way. I mean, I think if I stayed longer, it would have become like that.
Yeah.
But like I remember there were times where I would like hide behind Julio, and Julio was I was like 13, 14. Julio was like 16, 17. So he was scared of Julio. And Julio's like the nicest guy. But
yeah. Julio, if you're listening, we love you.
Shout out to Julio.
Shout out.
But so there were times where I would like if I felt too uncomfortable, I would just go next to Julio or near Julio, and he would like disappear. So it was like kind of scary looking back. At the time, I didn't think too much of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really glad I don't live in that village because God knows what would have happened. But yeah, I come back to America, and this is still like middle school age. and then I forget which came first, but then
the chicken or the egg.
Yeah. Up until middle school, this is very sad and depressing, but I was pretty much a loner. I didn't have a lot of friends.
Aww.
So I think, I don't know what happened. Like, I come back one summer and like I suddenly have friends. And again, Gabriel is actually, again, one of the main reasons why I even had friends in the first place. But shout out again. But I started getting into, these group of friends that were like really funny, and I really liked them up to this day. I wish them all the best. But I started dating one of the guys in the circle. And again, when I say dating, it never went in any way sexual, especially at that age.
Yeah. Kales couldn't even hold hands without blushing.
No, like it was actually kind of like that. But I was like, I thought he was cute, and he was interested in me. Turned out he was gay.
Wow.
He came out later in high school, and I was just like, that's amazing. But then like my self-esteem kind of like plummeted, because I'm like, I'm the last girl he dated. Did I turn him gay?
No.
Like, we did literally nothing. I pecked him on the cheek once, and I dated him for like a month, and I broke it off because I'm like, I don't know, I felt like I can tell that he wasn't really into it, and that kind of turned me off.
Why?
And it turned out he was gay. So again, shout out to him. I wish him all the best.
I hope you're happy with the partner.
Yeah. And then after that, I dated, or I got with I considered him my best friend at the time. And it was like kind of unbelievable, because it was like the first time I liked someone, and allegedly he liked me back. And I was and I was like, oh great, that's great. And we've been friends since like since elementary school. Like, he was always in my classes, we would always talk.
Yeah.
And so he dumped me a week later.
Wow. Like, if you're listening, bleep you.
But also like, thank you. Because I feel like if he didn't, I would have still been hung up on him throughout high school, because we ended up going to the same high school.
Yeah.
And so he dumped me a week later. Again, nothing more than like peck on the cheek. Even, I don't think with him nothing ever happened. He just like dumped me. He didn't give a reason why. He just said, I think we're better off from friends. And I'm like, honest, at the time I was like, oh, fuck you, man. But thinking back, I'm like, okay, fair. You can't force attraction if it's not there.
Yeah, you can. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I was completely heartbroken. I think that was the first time like someone broke my heart.
Aww.
And afterwards, I think my attitude towards guys changed. And and so now we're going into, I think it was freshman year. Like I said, I met Josh at that time, and I knew of Josh because he was a friend of a friend, but we weren't that close, at least not yet. And so so before the boyfriend right before Josh, I think one day we were in marching band, and I think it was like kind of like we see each other all the time, we hang out all the time, we were like in the similar or the same section. So eventually we just started dating. And
okay, but like, who asked who out?
He asked me, and I said, sure, why not? I was like, yeah, sure, why not? He's into me, there's nothing for me to lose, sure, why not?
Why do you sound like my husband? Do you love me? Sure, why not?
But we dated for about a month or two, and then I just broke it off because I was like, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore.
Are you being for real?
Yeah, no, yeah, so I broke it off. I was like, meh.
What?
Yeah. Also, his breath stank. Like, I remember kissing him, and it was just like, I'm like, dude, do you brush your teeth? I felt like it was too rude to say.
I can't stand.
But he was a really nice person, and again, I wish him all the best. But then, So after that, I think sophomore year, me and Josh started getting closer.
Aww.
And, you know, we were still in marching band. And I think the second half of sophomore year, we started dating. Our anniversary is actually the Sunday on the 19th. So we started dating. Throughout high school, it was kind of cool. To be very honest, like outside of once we graduated high school, the relationship kind of got really rocky.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Grab your popcorn, everyone.
Like, and again, I think because we've talked about this before, and we attribute it a lot to us not being mentally well. Like, he was going through,
which makes sense.
Yeah, so we kind of went through like a depression around the same time. And again, I attributed mine to like having to drop out of college and then feeling like I wasn't good enough, and then that kind of like affected my relationship with him. So even though he lived, you know, right down the street from me, I wouldn't see him for like months. And so that affected him, and he was going through his own stuff as well. So there was a good bit towards, I guess, like the beginning, middle of the relationship where it wasn't great between us. But we still stay together somehow. But passing all that depression, I think towards the end of college, we started hanging out more, and we started being more open to each other, and we actually communicated our feelings towards each other, which, you know, helps a lot.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's hard to open up to someone, obviously, in the beginning.
Yeah, for me, it was very difficult, but once I was kind of able to do it, the relationship got a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think now where we are at now in the last few years is a lot better than where we were at the beginning of the relationship, because I feel like now we're solid, you know, like nothing can tear us apart at this point. And if they try, fuck them. Like, I'm at the point where, like, if Josh leaves me or something happens to him, then that's the end for me. Like, I know that's a little dramatic.
That's what I've told Pedro, and he's like, no, you can't say that. I'm like, try me.
Yeah, like, I know that's very dramatic and probably unhealthy, but honestly, at this point, I don't really care.
That's what I told Pedro. I'm like, you know, if something were to happen to this relationship, one way, for one reason or another, like, that's it. Like, I would not want to start over at all.
Yeah, no, like, that terrifies me. If I ever get a divorce, I'm done.
I know. Like, no. Especially because of, like, how the current dating climate is.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds horrible.
From what we've heard, it's not great.
No. My brother's constantly, like, having trouble with bitches. If you're listening, you know who you are.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. And I said it like that because she only speaks Spanish. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh God, Juan, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. Can we take that part out, please?
Can we bleep that out, please?
I'm just kidding.
He said yes. We're good.
Man, we gotta give that guy a raise. Debatable.
We need a raise first.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, that's like, to not be super vague. That's essentially the course of how I got married.
But, like, how did you guys know you were the one, like, for each other? That makes sense. The other person was the one for you.
I can't really speak for Josh, but for me,
can. I'm just kidding.
He's loved me from the beginning. He knew.
Duh.
He bought a ring after the first month of dating. I'm just kidding. I think for me, like, when we became more solid and we had like a good concrete relationship, I would come over more, right? So we'd hang out a lot more. And I remember this specifically. This is so bad, but I think at one point he was like showing me really bad movies. And I'm talking about bad, like The Room, Birdemic.
Oh God, no.
Women of the avocado rainforest, which
and
is
you still married him? I'm just kidding.
I know, that's, you think it would be the opposite effect, right? I'm done. No, it was kind of like, I remember we had so much fun. Like, and then I was thinking, you know what? If he asked me to marry him, I would, you know?
Oh, that's so cute.
I don't know. It was something about those movies where I was like, fuck this movie. And I remember I actually like, watching Birdemic, I legitimately did get mad at him. I was like, why are you showing me this shit? But we had so much fun. I was like, all right, I'll marry you.
Oh, I mean, I guess you realize, like, if we can get through this shit, we can get through anything.
We can get through anything at this point. That was the low.
Cute.
That was the real low.
Oh God, that's so cute.
But that's when I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna, like, this is it for me, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, Pedro says I shouldn't think like that, but I'm like, you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I'm my own boss. And so this anniversary is gonna be your 13th.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've been together in total 13 years.
Wow.
We've been married for 3 of those years.
Oh.
So how we got engaged, it was essentially like a mutual agreement. I remember this was like, I was straight out of college and I was struggling to find a job, but I did eventually find one, and it was, you know, a shitty retail job, but it was helping me pay for, like, you know, my loans, my gas, and then anything else I wanted. But I remember thinking, because, you know, it was gonna be like, it was gonna be close to like 8-9 years, I forget exactly, but it was approaching like the 10-year mark. And I was like, I think at that time we kind of mentioned marriage, but we never like fully talked about it. So one day I went over fully prepared to be like, we're either gonna get married or I'm done, you know? And so I essentially kind of did that. I think I brought it up, and then we both talked about it, and then we both agreed that we wanted to get married, and that's how we got engaged.
What? Look at you.
That was it.
Wait, so you've always wanted to get married?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No. So when I was younger, I was actually very scared of commitment. Not that I fooled around with anyone else or like
right.
Or like I cheated ever. It was more like I was scared of like someone having that sort of authority, if that makes sense. Like, well, he like kind of like, well, if he breaks my heart, then, you know, I have to go through all this shitty pain again.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that's what I know. At the time, it didn't make any sense. But also, I think a lot of like the unstableness in our...
No. I said it does make sense. I can see why.
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot my train of thought.
I'm so sorry. No, because you were saying growing up.
I think from the beginning of the relationship, I was also just very immature, because we started dating when we were like, like we started dating when we were like, I think 16. And at the time, obviously, you're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna marry this guy or I'm gonna marry her. You're not thinking long term. I was like stressed out like about college and like my future at the time. So I was very much scared of like committing. It's such a weird thing to say, because it kind of implies that I was fooling around, but I really wasn't. I would never do that, by the way.
Yeah, right.
I don't need to say that, but like,
no, yeah. You know, I was never scared of commitment. Like in my mind, I was like, okay, like I want to find someone, settle down, like, and just be done with it. Yeah. And I was never scared to like flirt with guys, like go out with them, like not sleep around, because I didn't do that. But I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea. Again, I feel like it had a lot to do with like growing up, religious views and all that. Yeah. But I was never scared of commitment. Like I was always like, okay, like I'm gonna make this work one way or another, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So I was never scared of like marriage or anything like that.
Mm.
Even
It's
though I saw,
funny. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just gonna say something else. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, even though like I saw a lot of divorces growing up, and people always like painting marriage as like something bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh my god, like what if it doesn't work out? Da da da. Like people made it sound harder than what it really was, and I never had a
Yeah.
hard time with it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
What were you gonna say?
No, it's so funny how we're like kind of the opposite in that sense. Because I was terrified. Like, the thought of marriage didn't even cross my mind until I was like 26, 27, you know?
Yeah.
Which is so strange. I don't know. I feel like I was just really weird in general. But no, you're right. Like, whenever I thought of marriage, I thought of my parents. And they're like, don't get me wrong, I love them. I love my parents to death. Well, not to death, but I love my parents.
Yeah.
But they struggled so much. And like at one point, sometimes I'd be like, why do they hate each other so much, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, in conclusion, my parents' marriage wasn't great, and so I thought that's what all marriages were. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. What the fuck? I'm not gonna get married. I don't want to be, angry all the time and miserable. If this is what marriage is, then I don't really want it. But it turns out they're just toxic.
Oh god. And there we go. That's what the issue really is. Like, if you go into it thinking that way, that's what it's gonna be. In my mind, it was like, my marriage is gonna be what I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how Pedro went into it. And we went into it thinking like, we're gonna fix whatever issues we have, the obstacles we have. Like, we're gonna make sure we really work on ourselves so that we can work on our relationship. You know? So I feel like if you go into it thinking, oh my god, like this is gonna be bad, like everyone else is, like, no, like it's what you want it to be. If you're gonna put the effort, if you're gonna really try and like reflect on what you're doing that's causing issues, or like just what's happening in the relationship, that's how you fix it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
And also, it goes both ways. Like, if one partner is willing to like try and actively make the relationship work and the other one isn't, that marriage is not gonna last. Or that relationship is not gonna last.
Exactly. Because it's just one person trying to fix the whole thing, and that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with my parents. Like because my dad got sick obviously early on in the relationship.
Yeah.
And like my mom tried to seek help for him, like try to get him to go to therapy, to help deal with his condition, and he would just never want to do anything.
Yeah.
For himself, And then eventually, like, he was just really mean to her, took out his frustration on her, never wanted to do anything, like seek help in any sort of way, and then eventually, it just died. And that's what happened, and that's the story. And in conclusion, don't be stupid. No, I'm kidding. Conclusion, don't do it. No, I'm kidding.
I think in conclusion, I think the quote unquote role models that we had in our family weren't great, Oh,
I know.
I talk shit on my parents' marriage, but also like I also see like my dad's siblings' marriage, if that makes sense.
Gosh.
Like Tio Prieto, Tio Chava. Yeah, it all seems like they all hate their wives. Or they like hate each other, and I'm like, why? Or they treat each other like shit. And I'm like, what? Then why did you? What?
Why?
Then why are you here? Why are you here?
Why?
Why are you wasting each other's time?
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I always try to think like, what was the one positive couple that we had growing up, and I don't think I could think of. No, the only one that I can think of are Tia Norma and Tio Jesse.
Who is that?
Utah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I feel like those are that. I mean, from what I saw, like they always look happy, and like I never like their relationship that they have, and like the closeness, like their whole family, like it always looks so nice.
Yeah.
That's probably other than that, everybody I grew up with is divorced and hates each other.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm like, that's not me, bro. I know what to do,
Sad.
so I don't end up like that. But yeah. In conclusion,
everyone sucks.
Honest, except for us.
Except for us, obviously. Trying to think of what else to add on, but
did we go through it?
I think we went through most of what we were gonna talk about.
Damn, I would not shut up, huh? Damn, sorry.
No, I loved it. I love
you. I love you, girl.
Girl, I love you too.
Oh my god.
I love it when people share their experiences.
I know.
I love it when people open up to me. I just love it.
Me too. I love to know all the tea. No, I'm kidding. I like to learn through other people's experiences too. You know?
Oh yeah.
So it's great listening. I did not know that about you guys though.
Yeah, it's sometimes even I forget.
Oh god.
And then I think about it and it like makes me depressed.
Oh god.
That I wasted all that time being depressed. Because I feel like I wasted like from the age of 18 to 25, I feel like I wasted those years.
Oh my god.
Being angry, being depressed, being anxious. I mean, a lot of it stemmed from like financial instability and like going to college and like I guess that was it.
I was just having panic attacks, but girl, I would go clubbing every weekend.
Oh, girl.
I would go out. Like, I had friends who would be like, let's go. And I'd be like, pick me up, bro. Pick me up. And I'd be like, all right, mom and dad, I'll be back like at 1. And then I'd just come back till 5 a.m. and I'd be okay. I was a very social butterfly.
That's good.
But
obviously I'm not.
No. I was depressed though, but I used to dance it out in the club.
I should have done that. Looking back, if I can give my younger self advice, I'd be like, girl, dance it out. No.
Dance it out.
Dance it out.
Dance it out.
Fuck it. You're depressed, girl. Go dance. You'll be fine.
Go sweat it on the dance floor. Oh my god, funny story. I went clubbing and I had a crush on my friend's cousin, and he was a little drunk, and somebody spilled a drink on the dance floor, and I slipped and fell.
Aww.
And that friend still to this day brings up that story, and I want to punch her in her tit because it wasn't that funny. It really hurt. If you're listening, why do you always gotta bring up the worst parts of my life? Anyway.
Yeah, fuck you, but also not really.
But yeah, that's pretty much, I guess. If y'all have questions to the 1 or 2 viewers that we have, leave them in the comments, and we'll get to them at the beginning of our next episode.
Yes. I mean, before we close off, just to make it equal, I can share like an embarrassing story. In high school, freshman year, I got trash canned. And you know what? I got trash. Well, it was a joke, but like my section in marching band trash canned me as a joke. And Josh took a fucking photo of it.
Of course he did.
He didn't help me. He was like, damn. Anyways.
And you still married him?
Honestly, I'm looking back and I'm like,
and
what the fuck?
You still married him. What is wrong with you?
He's saying we weren't together yet. Girl.
That don't matter. You should have known that you were going to be together, and then you probably shouldn't be doing that anyway. You know what? Put him on. Put him on right now.
Get in the call. We're gonna trash can.
Trash can.
No,
how dare you?
Yeah. It was kind of funny. Even back then, I was laughing the whole time, and they helped me out too. They didn't leave me in there, so it was I
got trash canned.
It was like trash can the freshman or something, and they chose me, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Aww, I used to get picked on, but like in a funny way. And then my guy best friend, and then he would pick me up, and then he threw me because I was light back then when I was light. That was like a billion pounds ago, but anyway, I'm a big girl. No, I'm kidding. And yeah, he also threw me in the trash can. I don't know where that picture is.
Did Pedro take a photo of it?
No, he wasn't
and
there.
Said hi and walked away.
And I still married him. I'm just kidding. Pedro, if you're listening, no, I'm kidding.
Looking back, there was a lot of red flags.
No, Josh.
I'm just kidding.
You wait till we're done with this episode.
I'm kidding.
Are you though? Blink 3 times.
Maybe. I'm just kidding. My cheeks hurt from like smiling too much.
Ugh, why are you smiling?
I know. Well,
you smile?
I know. I'm happy. What?
What?
But yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing. I really do appreciate it. I love it when people open up to me.
My putita days, you know. Just kidding.
If 2.5 is puta,
2.5.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what 3 is.
Girl. A full 3.
A full 3, girl. That's like dick swinging left and right.
Girl. Ooh. Well, actually, yeah. I'm just kidding. But yeah, thanks for sharing too. Yeah. I feel like I overshared. Everybody knows my story.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, I could be descriptive if y'all want. I'm kidding. I have diagrams and everything.
I guess we can. I don't know if you still want to answer or give any sort of advice for like a successful relationship. But,
oh my gosh, yes. You want to go first?
You did mention that commenting on the current dating climate, like
yes.
Obviously, I'm not dating anyone.
Should you better not be? You heard that, IT?
No, I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
I would never. But like from what I've heard, it's not great.
No.
Like, are you guys okay out there?
I don't think they are. I have
Come
a lot
on to
of
the podcast and talk about it.
Right? I have a couple coworkers that are struggling right now. My brother's struggling. Like,
and my sister's struggling.
No, she's not.
Well, she's not. Well, I don't know if she's like actively looking, but she's more
there's
of
a bunch
like
of trash.
She's more of like I want to get married, I want to have children. She wants all that.
Oh, guys don't want that. They just want to hit it and quit it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like some men do want that, but it's like harder to find.
It's hard
maybe
to find those guys,
especially if they're like a lot younger. But I mean, what do I know? I don't know.
You've only been in a relationship for like what, 13 years?
Yeah.
But it is very different. I always feel like if I wouldn't have met my husband growing up, I probably would be single right now too. Like, I don't think I'd have anyone. Or maybe I'd still be trying to get at that other guy. Who knows? Lost cause.
Maybe. Honestly, I don't know where I would be.
In a trash can. No, I'm kidding. I'd be living with my mom probably. No, yeah, actually, I'd probably be living with my best friend.
I'd probably be living with my parents again.
Yes.
And that thought
scares you.
Just terrifies me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, any sort of advice that you have?
Don't be scared to open up. I know it's scary to be vulnerable, but you won't really know each other and if they're a good fit unless you go there.
Yeah.
And like, don't be scared to end it because, I don't know, you've invested time. Like, why do you want to be with someone who doesn't meet like what you require in a relationship, or like what you need, you know, like your needs? If they're not meeting your needs, you've talked about it a couple times and they're still like not changing, then maybe, you know, it's not for you. Don't ever feel like this person is the only one you will ever be able to find, because that's never the case. Don't be scared to cry in front of your partner. This goes for men and women.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And if your partner thinks so, fuck them.
Yeah, they're not the one.
Crying. No, they're not the one.
If they make a huge deal about it, then they're not the one.
Then they're not. Not at all. And if you feel like you're walking on eggshells, feel like you have to hold back on who you truly are, not the one.
They're not the one.
Not the one. Or or let loose. Like, be yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the main part really is, don't be scared to start over with someone else. Don't feel like you have to stay in that relationship because you don't want to be lonely, or you know, like you're not going to find anyone. Do not, under any circumstances, get pregnant to try and keep that person there. Do not do that. Children do not freaking
deserve that.
No, they do not. And it's not going to fix anything.
Yep.
Maybe
make things worse.
No, yeah, it really is. And then you're going to be left alone with a child that you're going to resent. Hopefully not. But yeah, I don't know what you want to add, Kales.
My honest to God advice: if you're currently dating, make your goals very clear.
Yes.
Like, find someone that has same or similar goals as you.
And values.
And values, yeah. Secondly, don't be too selfish.
No.
Coming from like personal experience, don't be selfish. You guys are like, a pair, a unit. You have to think as. And you have to think of like them as well.
Yes.
Unfortunately. I'm just kidding.
I'm done. and it's not always going to be 50-50. Sometimes it's going to be 20-80, 30-70. Like, it just depends on what your partner needs, like where they are. Always check in, like check your headspace.
Yeah.
Also find out what their love language is. That's a huge one.
Oh, I was gonna ask you what your love language was.
Mine is physical touch.
I'm sure it is.
And then Pedro's is acts of service. No, I'm just kidding. No, but for real, mine is physical touch, and then his is acts of service. So I'll like pack his lunch, do his laundry, like I'll do stuff for him. And and remember, there's one where you receive that language, and then the one that you give. But yeah, take the quiz, y'all. It's really fun.
And yeah, I don't know mine.
You should probably look that up.
Nah.
Girl. Really?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Are you though? What else? I feel like that's pretty much it. Yeah, but love language really helps. And then Pedro and I are usually like checking in with each other, like where we're at, like our headspace, how we're doing. If our love, he always checks my love tank, because mine depletes. Yeah, the love language you give fills up your love tank. So if you're not like speaking their love language, you need to read the book. We were forced to read it for marriage counseling before we got married. It was one of the requirements. It was very interesting. So make sure you know each other's love languages and speak it so their love tank is full.
Yep.
I'm always like, Pedro, you want to fill up my love tank?
Yeah, I immediately thought it was sexual. That's why I didn't want to go.
No, it wasn't. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we said, if you have comments or questions, leave them in the comment section. But if you're gonna be mean, don't you dare, because I will fire back. Kales, anything to add?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah. This was a really good episode.
It really was. I really hope our 2 viewers leave some comments and questions. I'm just
Please
kidding.
do.
But yeah, I guess if that's everything, Kales, thanks for listening.
Yeah, we always appreciate it.
We really do. Shout out to our 2 listeners. Woo!
Yep. Shout out to y'all, because y'all make this happen.
You really we do it for both of you. For both of you. But yeah. Okay, bye.
All right. Bye.
They're cousins and their wives. Don't you know they're the cousin wives? With all our money and I need to. Who knows what the hell they're gonna do? Don't wanna listen, well it's true damn bad. One of them laughs while the other gets mad. Check your man and check if it's butter, 'cause this show ain't no like no other. It's cousin wives.